First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming to listen to this aid debate. And before I start my remarks, I'd like to quote Albert Einstein. He once said that insanity is defined as doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. I believe he was talking about aid, foreign aid. Foreign aid can be divided into three. There are three types of foreign aid. There is military aid, which I personally believe is the most useless as far as Africa is concerned. And then there is humanitarian relief assistance, humanitarian aid. And then there is official development assistance, that is ODA. ODA is what foreign aid proper is about. Now, if you look at military assistance, military aid, during the Cold War, a lot of military aid was pumped to Africa's, despots and dictators. But, I don't have to convince you that this type of military aid helped these dictators suppress and put down aspirations for freedom. I mean, one of the most sickening spectacles coming out from the Arab Spring was when Hosni Mubarak, was using tanks, Abraham tanks, and F-16 jet fighters to buzz the demonstrators in Tahrir Square. Where did he get that aid from, the military equipment from? And look at Gaddafi of Libya, actually going to the extent of bombing his own people. We had similar results in Africa during the 1990s with Mobutu Sese Seko of Zaire and Samuel Doe of Liberia. Military aid has simply gone to despotic regimes which have used themselves to prop themselves up. There's also a problem with humanitarian relief assistance. There have been so many of these humanitarian crises in Africa, Somalia, Rwanda, Congo, Darfur, for example. I mean, nobody, quibbles about humanitarian relief assistance. But have you ever thought that prevention is better than cure? Almost all those countries that imploded, Somalia, Rwanda, Zaire, Burundi, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, all of them will have been saved if their leaders had been willing either to relinquish political power or share political power. So we can't pretend that everything is okay on the political side of the equation. We must somehow combine humanitarian assistance with what's going on the political side. Now, as I stand here, yesterday I indicated that several African countries are teetering on the brink of implosion. Must we wait for them to implode before we rush in high-protein biscuits, tents? And then, this is how the humanitarian relief assistance has become something like a macabre ritual. We rush in tents, blankets, high-protein biscuits, until another African country blows up. And then we move on to that particular stage. It's unacceptable. Now, when it comes to economic development assistance, since 1960, the West has pumped more than $800 billion into Africa, with little to show for it, except a multitude of black elephants, decayed infrastructure. Now, what happened? I mean, the aid story is scandalous, blunders. Let me give you an example. in the late 1970s, the Norwegians went to Kenya and decided to help the Turkana tribes people. So they decided to build a fish freezing plant for the Turkana tribes people. Now, when the plant was completed, there was an official ceremony to open up the plant. The president was called, the village brass band was also called. The newspaper people came. And then when they opened the plant, they discovered there was a small problem. And that problem was that the Turkana tribes people, they don't fish. They raise goats. The point which I want to emphasize was that there were so many people, so many governments went to Africa to help a people they didn't understand. Whom are we trying to help? Whom are the donors trying to help in Africa? They don't understand them. If you want to help a people, if you want to help American farmers in the Midwest, you ask them what type of help they need. Nobody asked the Africans what type of help they needed. It was designed for them and dumped into their laps. Fact of the matter is, Africa doesn't need aid. Let's go through the mathematics of it, little arithmetic of it. The total amount of aid from all sources to Africa amounts to $30 billion, 30. Now, the World Bank estimates that corruption alone costs Africa $148 billion a year, corruption. In other words, helping Africa is like pouring water into a bucket which leaks. You pour in 30 billion and 148 billion drains away. And we keep doing the same thing over and over again. Remember, Albert Einstein once defined insanity as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Thank you.